Characters is absolutely where it began, because Picasso's painting has these people in distorted forms that are so evocative. And so I knew right away that if I was going to translate it into theater, I wanted to have each of those characters on the stage, and they were going to be the cast. The only figures in the painting that don't appear directly on stage are the two animals, the horse and the bull, but they're both referenced in the script. I didn't want talking animals. That was not my aesthetic. But yeah, I spent some time looking at each of the characters, but eventually what it was more about for me is, I think that what Picasso was doing by having these figures, it was a representation of so many more people, right? And so I wanted to create characters that would be from different sectors of society, that could stand in for every person who was there on that day in Guernica, but also every person who was in the audience in a certain respect. I wanted the audience to be implicated in this because I don't think we're done dealing with Guernica. I was in a high school drama class in 12th grade. We had a guest instructor come in and lead a workshop on playwriting, and he basically had us sit down and start writing something, and I had no ideas. So I started just with the image of a light and a dark space. I had always been a writer, but I was interested in theater because of the way you actually use space. And so I had these sort of lines about someone carrying a light and moving through the space and illuminating things, but I quickly ran out of anything to do with that because there wasn't something to be illuminated. So I said, okay, I need to stop sort of playing writerly tricks and actually write about something. And I remembered the painting Guernica and the way there's this figure with a light swooping in. And so I said, well, there's a story there. And so that's where I began to think about the painting more and do more research and explore how it could be translated into theater. So John Lachlan Stewart was, I guess, the biggest collaborator, so I'm really excited that you'll be able to talk with him. He was my mentor from the start. I had never written a play before, so he guided me through that process. He was the director for all the productions and the sound designer, and he really helped me understand what it was to bring something from just words on a page into a theatrical piece with actors and designers and an audience.
The way Erica represented the candle bearer, so there's the image of the person in the painting holding the candle who's coming into the room, is she interpreted that was, we ended up sort of realizing that to us was Picasso. That was who that was in our version of this play. Picasso is the candle bearer, the one seeing it. And then we realized this whole play, what we were talking about was Picasso's development in being inspired to make this painting. So we knew then that this place, the setting of this play was actually Picasso's studio. So we knew where we were and what we were doing. And as soon as that was clear, the actual text was in a weird way kind of on the sidelines to the real action, which was the bodies on stage slowly becoming the painting.
There was this constant kind of need to understand what Picasso was seeing in comparison to what the characters saw, because he was following each character around, and sometimes we would have to transition him from one character to another to say, okay, Picasso's now following Pedro, Picasso's now following Galena, Picasso's now following Carlos, changing his perspective, and seeing, we really wanted to make sure that Picasso was seeing whatever was going on at the market from the eyes of each character, and making it very clear which character he's with. And I think that contributed to his emotional connection with each character.
And then the last character is the character that I began with, this character that carries a light. I called him the candle bearer, but as the development of the play progressed, he became the artist too, Picasso. And it's interesting because he has, I think, 4 words in the whole play. But this wordless character really transformed what the play was about. At first I thought I was just going to write about the bombing and use these characters from the painting, but working with this wordless character and seeing it on a stage, it became much more about the artistic process that Picasso might have gone through to create this, or that any artist might go through in creating something in response to such a tragedy. Picasso has a great quote saying that every act of creation is also an act of destruction. And from the beginning I wanted to implicate the audience in the tragedy that I was staging. And so what we have is this notion that in order to create Guernica, at least on this stage, in this studio that I staged it in, you have to recreate the tragedy first. And so the candlebearer, in a way, becomes responsible for the bombing, only in its recreation in this artist's studio. But then you have the sense that, okay, as an audience, you're the reason that this tragedy is being restaged. You're the reason that these characters are going through their market day from hell.